Welcome. This is the Midday News. I'm Maricela Keleton. The Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary Police and the PNG Defence Force personnel who will be providing security during the Parliament sitting when Parliament sits at 2 p.m. today are being warned not to provide aid or assistance to politicians. Commander Northern Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Peter Guinness issued this directive yesterday. Guinness says all security activities will be monitored and all security personnel who are found privately aiding or assisting politicians during the Parliament sitting will be disarmed and dealt with through the disciplinary process.
No police personnel or no defense force personnel involved in any escorting any politicians for that matter. There won't be any police from outside of Port Moresby coming with any politicians. If we find any of those police officers or the soldiers, they will be referred to the Task Force Joint Commander, and if any police personnel, he will be detained, and if he's armed with a firearm, his firearm will be taken off him, and then this particular member will be deported back to his province, and then will take on disciplinary actions will follow suit.
Prime Minister James Marape expressed gratitude to coalition partners for their support amid the ongoing no-confidence motion against his government. In a statement released last night, PM Marape acknowledged the backing of Pangu Party and coalition partners, including the United Resources Party, Social Democratic Party, People's First Party, People's Party, National Alliance, People's Movement for Change, Melanesia Alliance, and Melanesian Liberal Front. Marape says the government is intact as they prepare for the normal parliament session at 2 p.m. today, with a new motion for the VONC may be filed today. And before women in the Wampara local level government in the Huon Gulf district are asking after the funds promised to them by the Morobe provincial government. The Morobe Women's Council received over 4,000 kina in October 2023 from one of the groups in Gabsongkeg village. However, to date, the village women are yet to hear from the provincial women's representative.
Women in the Wampar local level government of Huon Gulf district are calling on the Morobe provincial government to at least give an update on the 5 million kina that was committed for widows, divorcees and single mothers on September 6, 2022. The commitment was made by Governor Luther Wenge during the swearing-in of Morobe's 11 members of parliament at Tutumang House 2 years ago. In October 2023, the Wampar women were advised by the Morobe women's representative, Esther Peter, to register before they get their funds. Olga Billy from Gabsongkeg village said they formed their group and affiliated to what is called the Morobe Kirap Women's Association, an association that falls under the women's division under Babafi Trust at Tutumang House.
One mama will pay 20 kina blo ID fee, 5 kina blo admin fee, 2 kina blo helping all man who set ok logo na reach out lol mama lo rural areas na talking more lo forming group na come join underneath law this la association law. So 27 kina ni pla been pay one head. Inside the group lo me 150 pla mama, so that's like 150 times 27 kina. So far me plan of one pla helping yet law government.
From Billy's women's group, 4,050 kina was collected and handed to officers from Babafi Trust, a unit set up by the governor to identify and register women who are eligible for the 5 million kina funding support. Another woman from Gabsongkeg, Mariken Maliaki, appealed to Governor Luther Wenge to keep his word as women in the districts need help with startup capital to start their small businesses, such as the food stalls set up by Wampar women outside the new Nadzab Tomodachi International Airport Terminal.
Now, most of the mothers, most of the members are widows, single mothers. Only find him hard because all you know are where lokisim halibim by halibim all pushing come out. The other side too, Niapi Loyu is a member of Loyu district. Jason Peter, Governor Honorable Luther Wenge, Loluk Sabe Lomipla, come out now people so that people can go inside long financial literacy training where all mama can sabe lo how lo budgeting money blon, how lo finding markets all yet, how lo look out the mouse door blon, now move forward out with the system now. As me talk before, me play no got power come inside the place too, me play no got road, silly come inside the place, me play walk about this no more life before me play the problem too, lo what the supply inside the place.
Terminal. In a recent interview, Governor Wenge attributed the delay in fulfilling his commitments to the lack of support within the provincial administration.
Total Energies EP PNG Limited, operator of the Papua LNG project, inaugurated 3 community buildings at the government station of Wabo by Muru LLG and Kikori district on the 24th of May. The Total Energies Community Development Program aims to improve the livelihoods of households and communities in the project footprint areas.
The main pillars of the program are to strengthen the capacity of local institutions, enhance local livelihood strategies, and enable infrastructure to support community development priorities. In partnership with the Gulf Provincial Health Authority, the Provincial Education Division, the Wabo Ward Development Council 21, and community leaders in Wabo Station, Total Energies decided in 2023 to provide support for the installation of additional infrastructure at Wabo Station to support health and education services in the area. The buildings were constructed by Pacific Development Construction or PDC and Digital Foundation, and the material was provided by Rhodes and Atlas Steel. PDC constructed the health workers' house at Wabo, similar to the house in Poroi 2, which was inaugurated on April 11th. The health worker caters to a population of 1,500 from surrounding villages, Ura, Wabo Village, Wabo Station, and the inland Pawayan communities. The newly built double classroom will significantly improve the learning environment for the students. The community hall provides a central location for various community groups, including women, youth groups, and the Ward Development Committee. Kaokiru Jr., TV1 News.
In sports overseas, Matilda's momentum is at an all-time high after last year's Women's World Cup, with the team's success inspiring more than 1,000 South Australian women and girls to sign up to play soccer for the first time. But while local clubs welcome the boost, they say more needs to be done to sustain growth in the sport.
It's game night for the Adelaide Jaguars, one of several South Australian soccer clubs experiencing the Matildas effect.
When the Matildas came on, I just started playing. All girls are playing because they like soccer.
Not just girls, it's women too.
I thought, am I too old for this or not? And I thought, no, I'm going to give it a go.
About 120 new players joined the Jags this year, with the Matildas' World Cup success inspiring many.
The massive impact that they've had in the last 12 months over the World Cup certainly probably brought another, I would say, 100 people in, so probably another 30% to the club.
It's a phenomenon across the state.
65 new teams from 23 to 24, which is a fantastic outcome off the back of the World Cup.
1, 2, 3, Jags!
But some clubs, like the Jags, say they can't keep up with skyrocketing demand.
We've turned away about 100 players from Adelaide Jaguars because we are at capacity.
Bronnie Brooks says her club struggles to recruit coaches, and despite being the biggest female-only soccer club in SA, it doesn't have its own club room.
All of those, basic club needs, we just don't have at this facility.
During the Women's World Cup last year, the South Australian Government and Football SA announced they would spend $18 million over 3 years on women's sport. $10 million was quarantined for soccer. The government received 62 applications in the first round of the grant program, but only 13 came from soccer clubs or other organisations seeking to improve women's soccer facilities. The Jags say they weren't eligible to apply for an infrastructure grant as the club doesn't have landowner consent.
They are eligible to apply, but they do have an issue around a permanent home. And I've asked my office and the Office for Recreation, Sport and Racing to work with them.
The Jags say their search for a permanent home continues.
We're hopeful that in the next 12 months, perhaps, whatever that looks like, we will latch onto a piece of space that we can create our own home for.
A hope shared by hundreds of inspired soccer players.
In sport back home, the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup from front runners PRK Mendimuruk suffered their second straight defeat, this time at the hands of a fired-up Lace-Next Tigers outfit 34-14 in front of a packed Lay Rugby League oval on Sunday. Tagged as the battle of a local derby, the Tigers were boosted with the inclusion of Hunters duo Seni Wabo and Joshua Mire, who showed their dominance early in the first half to lead 18-6 until half-time.
The PRK Mendimuruks are hanging by a thread at the top of the competition points table on 10 points, with the East Division Agma Gurias closing in with 9 points in the second place after round 7. The Digicel ExxonMobil Cup Round 7 clash was played under wet and slippery conditions that got both teams struggling for possession, while a number of players from both sides were sent to the bin for unsportsmanship behavior. But it was the SP PNG Hunters fringe number 6 Joshua Mire that got the Tigers on the front foot with his game management and direction, and executed well both in their set plays and his kicking game. Seni Wabo, who fell out of Paul Ayton's favour after last week's Hunters win against Jets for a minor disciplinary issue, lined up with his local friend sides alongside fellow Hunter Mire and played his part in the Tigers' big win, especially in his kick returns, while he was strong in defence as well. While it's double blow for Muruks, suffering consecutive losses in the space of 2 weeks, head coach Andrew Andiki is taking their losses as a reality check to identify and fix up their weaknesses heading into the back end of the season with 11 weeks of regulation rounds to go. Andiki admitted they were expecting something like this to happen, given a number of his key men were out injured or suspended and had to bring up young players from his extended squad. While it's back to the drawing board this week, Coach Andiki said his boys will be ready to bounce back when they meet Kimber Cutters in round 8 this week before they face the second place Gurias the following week in round 9. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
And that ends the midday news. Join us at 6 p.m. for more this evening. Bye for now.